Snatch this up, okay? Snatch me up. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Patty, for those of you who do not know. And yes, you saw correctly by the title, we're getting ready to do our first get ready with me video, y'all. And like, I really love how my makeup came out. I actually did it in the bathroom, but let me know how y'all feel about the lighting, and if you want me to do another one, because I'll do it with this lighting, because this natural light is giving, it's giving. Okay. It's my very first one, y'all, so I'll roll right on into it. All right, y'all, let's get started. It's been a while, okay? I don't do this as often as I used to, but we're gonna hop right on in. I still like the primer, the Master Prime by Face Studio by Maybelline. It's still been holding me down. I know the girlies are loving the e.l.f. Primer. I still haven't tried it, y'all. I am trying to start this thing where I don't try products until I'm out of like the basics or whatnot. Please wash your face before putting on makeup, even if you're doing it in like the evening, you're about to go out with your friends. You want to start with a clean canvas. That way you help to minimize your breakouts, y'all. Like, it's very, very important. Even if you feel like you didn't go anywhere, the oils, the dust, and all that in the air can impact your skin. So please start with a clean face. And yeah, I really like this primer, y'all. It's so good. So the foundation that I'm using that I really love for the summer is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage. I will say that I don't believe this is for people with dry skin. This is a very matte, very drying foundation, and we're at the end, which is why we're doing all this padding. I wonder if it's gonna be like my skin color, because it was a little dark, because again, y'all, I've been so lazy that I just have not been buying summer foundation, winter foundation. Like, I just haven't been in the mood to do that. You can layer this, meaning you go in with just a little bit and then build it. It's definitely a buildable foundation, but you have to go in quick, y'all, because this will dry down like really quick. It's not like putting on your concealer and you can just kind of leave it there for a second. No, babies, this will dry down really fast. This foundation, I feel like, is for the oily girls and the sweaty girls, or it's just for the summertime. You're going to a festival and you don't want your makeup to move, babes. This is probably the most sweat-friendly, oil-friendly makeup foundation that I've ever used. Ooh, okay, we're matching a little bit. We're getting a little bit more chocolate. Y'all, let me tell you, this foundation is so matte. It's so like dry, that even when I go into like Sephora and I'm asking for product recommendations and I'm telling them like what I use on my skin, they're like, "You use what?" And I'm like, yeah, y'all, like, when I say I'm an oily girl and I'm a sweaty girl, I mean that. The next video that we will be doing of makeup, well, I am going to be trying some sweat products that are supposed to help. My friend just put me on to some things that she was like, "Patty, I think these will work for you." But until then, y'all, this is my everyday go-to. So I would like to say, if you're very new to makeup, you will begin to learn like what works for you, what steps you like to do first. Some people like to go in and do their concealing and things first. I still very much like to go ahead and get the foundation out the way. So next up, I have to powder my brows. Y'all, I said I'm an oily girl, I'm an oily girl. If you are not, you can skip this process, but I am using the Airspun loose powder. This has helped me down. As y'all can see, like, it lasts a very long time. But because I am oily, y'all, I had my little cousin one time ask me, he was like, "Patty, you know, why are your eyebrows sweating?" And I was like, it's because I'm an oily, sweaty girl. And that's when I was like, oh, we gotta start setting this a problem. So if I'm going out during the day, I would probably use even more product than this, but I have to do this. If not, y'all, my eyebrows will be super, super, super shiny and oily, and this combination has been a winner for me. So if you are, you know, normal to dry skin, you can skip this step. But if you are oily babes and you have not been able to get your brows to not be shiny, powder them brows, babes. Set them things. Like, you know how people bake their faces? Bake the brows. It helps a lot. All right. Next, I am going in with my Revlon Colorstay Brow Creator. I absolutely love this pencil. It's my favorite. I've used a lot other products before, but I feel like this one again is better for the oily skin, because there's another brow pencil I used to use, but I felt like it used to get super, super shiny, and I was like, we don't need nothing else that's gonna give us a shine. This is in the color 610, by the way. If I didn't say that, I put that on the screen. And we're gonna kind of like jump through this part because I really don't know how to talk and do my brows. I do start with just like outlining them, and I say go slow, especially if you're new to filling in your brows. And if you are one of God's favorites, meaning you were blessed with thick brows, you don't even have to work this hard. At all. But yeah, I'm not a brow specialist. This is just kind of what I do to get my brows the way that I like, but I'm gonna skip this part and come back when they're done. Okay, the brows are on. Don't be afraid. We're gonna clean them up and fix them up a little bit, which we're actually about to do now. I still carve out my eyebrows with concealer, and I really like to use the LA Pro Girl. Listen, she's cheap, she's affordable, and she gets the job done. Very, very good coverage and a very cheap product. You can get this at the hair store. So to help me with like product control, I usually just put a little bit on a napkin. I'm using a nice cute little angular brush here, and we're gonna go in underneath. Just grab a little bit. You can always go back and grab more, and we're gonna clean her up right there. And this will help if you don't have a steady hand. This will help if you just made a mistake. And this will also help if, baby, you got some extra hairs there that you need to conceal. It is a double win-win. As far as shade goes, you can use your highlighter shade, which is a lighter concealer. A lot of times if you're going to like the store and you're looking for concealer, I always recommend, you know, asking the person that's helping you or telling them you're looking for a concealer to like hide blemishes, or are you looking for a concealer that's gonna help you brighten like your under eye and such. So I use the same one that I brighten my under eye with to carve out my brows at the base. Now I will be completely honest, y'all, I do use the same shade to touch up the top, but I will tell you to be very careful because you can get halo brows. So let me just kind of quickly go through this. So when I'm doing the top, I try to be as light as possible, but I would recommend you get more of a skin color, or you could even do this with your foundation. I've just done it enough that I can be light-handed, but babes, when I first started doing this, your girl had halo brows all the time. Especially when that flash would be on. So let me just do the other side. So case in point of like, I feel like a lot of people sometimes when they mess up their makeup, they freak out. You can see right here, I kind of went into my brows, but we can fix that later. It is not the end of the world. So now what I do with the remainder of the concealer is I use it as a primer. So I put it all over my eyelids because it helps to prime for if I'm doing eyeshadow, or if I'm doing like today being lazy and we're just gonna use a bronzer. Now, I will tell you, I use way more product than necessary. You don't need to be this heavy-handed at all if you're going to use your concealer as a primer. To me, this just helps you buy one less product. You know, we love products that you can use for more than one thing, you know what I mean? So I just go in just like that, like so, like so. Now here you could, like, you know, blend this in with a brush. You could use your beauty blender, but I use the same sponge that I use to bake my brows, powder my brows in, and I just go in. You don't have to be super heavy-handed, and just kind of blend it out so that it's a bit even. Makeup be looking so crazy until you finish doing what you're doing, but that is it. And I just blend. You blend it out, blend it out. This doesn't have to be super perfect either, especially while you're learning. Please have grace with yourself. If you're a pro or you're just here because you like my channel and you rock with me, cool. But if you're really trying to learn makeup, be gentle with yourselves. It takes time. And I know sometimes we have this thing of comparing ourselves, but most of the time when you're watching makeup tutorials, you're watching people who have done makeup 10, 15 plus years. Like, where they are now is not how they started. And I definitely went through trials and errors with makeup. I mean, even with my brows, like, we're not finished because they're obviously a little way too close together. The general rule of thumb is to they should mirror the inner corner of your eye and the outer corner. But it's always easier to take away than to build upon sometimes. And that is how I get my foundation ready to begin doing other things. So at this point, this is where I will use the base of the sponge to just kind of move my eyebrows back. So they look like two brows and not like we got a unibrow situation happening. I learned to do this because I used to really try to like erase it, and I would have a heavy marcation in my face and my makeup, and I was like, bruh, that does not look cute. And there we go. So now I'm about to go in with not eyeshadow, actually. I'm feeling a little lazy today. I have my batch recording to do before I go to dinner with my friends tonight. So we are gonna use the Fenty Mocha Mami as our eyeshadow for today. Again, y'all, I love products that you can use for more than one thing using a nice fluffy brush. Going in, clearly I love this product and I just go all over the lid. You get a lot more coverage if you do a patting motion like this, and then you sweep when you're trying to like soften or buffer the outer corners of it. But listen, you just want a little definition on your lid and you don't feel like doing a whole like little eye look. This has been my favorite little combination, and then I just kind of sweep around the corners of it to blend it in some, babes. And that is gonna be my little eye. Simple, easy, adds color to the lid, adds a little bit of definition. I am going to a little swanky place for dinner. And y'all, I'm gonna do a quick bead. This is what we talking about right here. Quick, easy, to the point. If you've been struggling with like eyeshadows and trying to find eye looks that look good for you, number one, find somebody that is your complexion. Jackie Aina is like the go to me makeup tutorials, and she's such a great teacher. And then secondly, find somebody who has the same type of eyes as you. If you are someone with hooded eyes, find somebody that's a makeup artist that has hooded eyes. It's gonna help because eyeshadow is not a one-size-fits-all situation. There are definitely different methods for different eye shapes, different brow spacing, all that. Now I'm gonna fix this little area of my brows just like that. Boom, baby, and we back. Now I am going in to highlight the face with the same concealer, just like so. And I go in Again, y'all, I just got concealer on my robe. And guess what? I have not a care in the world. You do not have to use as much product as I'm using at all, y'all. I just been doing my face for a while and know what habits die hard, but it's just not necessary. And if you are newer to makeup, again, this is another area where you can go in lighter and you can always go back to add. Always can go back to add. I'm also going to begin to carve out where I'm going to be contouring my face a little bit later. It just helps it to like just like that. It gives it that extra like pop, which is so nice. I also do above my little cupid's bow. This is where you doing your makeup and things start looking real kind of crazy, but it's okay because we got to be Picasso. So now is when I am going to go in with my beauty blender, and no, this is not a name brand beauty blender. I wet it just so it's not like dripping, and sometimes I even wipe off my hands so that's not dripping all over my face. And we go in and we blend. You can start wherever you're most comfortable. I just start on my chin, hit that forehead. Honestly, some people you don't even need to do the forehead, especially depending on what type of hairstyle you got on. Baby, you got a banging situation. Why waste the product? Why waste the product? I do the bridge of my nose because I don't really contour my nose. I feel like a lot of people do it, which is clearly why we have all this product on our nose right now. And then I hit the under eye. One thing I am trying to improve upon is how much pressure I use. One of my good friends is a makeup artist, y'all, and she does not use nearly as much pressure. She did my makeup before, y'all, and I was like, it felt like she was massaging my face. And I feel like when you're thinking about blending, you think, oh, I gotta pressure. Y'all, my face was beat to the gods, and she was so gentle. And I had somebody else do my makeup for my friend's wedding earlier this year. She was not gentle. I was like, dang, she used more pressure than I do on my own face. But because I had that experience, I knew like it's just not necessary. Here I do pull it down. You don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to, but it's just a personal preference. Also note, y'all, you can do different contouring styles depending on your face structure, and also kind of depending on what type of outcome you really want. Like, what do you really desire? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I love makeup, but I'm also a lazy makeup person, so I am not like, oh, it has to be perfectly symmetrical. Baby, if you're noticing that things aren't even, get out my face. Why are you that close to me? Really and truly, you are in my business. Back it up. Back it up, back it up, back it up. And this is how much I blend it out before I go in with a brush. I will say to make sure you blend this concealer as best as you can, going back in with my foundation brush, just before you begin to add powder, because if it's still really wet, you are going to be left with a cakey mess, and you know we do not want that. So I just buff it out, you know, make it look a lot more softer, a lot more natural. And I also try to get in here in this area. Y'all, I'm doing my makeup so much faster talking to y'all than I do when I'm doing this on my own. Granted, we are just halfway done, but still. Also, I feel like it's easier to do your makeup when you're not tired. It just flows, and I'm not on E. So that's pretty much good enough for me. And then I have to go in with the powder. Again, I am a lot more heavy-handed because I am oily and I am a sweater. If you are not, you don't need to use a whole lot of powder. But for me, in this face, baby, we gonna powder her down. We gonna powder her down. And also, if you're going like to a music festival, you about to be outside, powder it down. powder it down, especially my nose, y'all. Another area I'm super oily. I do the whole nose. This is how I like, but I just say I powder, babes. I powder. Cause it's probably about 2:30 here, and I'm not going out till 7. Granted, I'm going somewhere where there's air conditioning, thank you Lord Jesus, but I still want my face to be set. One thing I love about this foundation though is that even when I've gone out like to the club and I've been dancing and sweating, sis will dry down like nothing ever happened. And I love that. I love that so much. But I also think I'm gonna be one of those girlies now that goes out and she has her fan, because it is no worse feeling than being super hot and sweaty and your makeup is like loose on your face. Absolutely not a comfortable feeling. I'm also super powdering because I'm about to be filming with bites, and that also doesn't help when you're a sweater and oily. I will also do this my cheek area, but I like to do that after I contour. You can let this chill for a minute if you want to. I'm impatient, so I just begin to go in and buff it out. And as you can see, it's starting to give us that nice matte effect. I will say that, again, this is a very, very mattifying foundation. So because I am oily, y'all, even with this foundation, I'm still gonna have a nice like dewy look to me in a few hours. But again, if you are dry, you might want to use this foundation, but you might want to top it off with a more dewy setting spray. This is where I kind of go in sometimes to see what that under eye is looking like. Do I need to fix it? Was I too quick? It started powdering before it had set. Ooh, we're making progress. We're making progress. Okay, now what do I usually do? Okay, now I'm actually, before I contour, I'm gonna go in with some eyeliner. And we're gonna hit this top lid. Oh sorry, I didn't tell you. This eyeliner is the Infallible eyeliner. I'll have it on the screen. It's also L'Oreal. And this is Noir. This is like the jet black. Again, this is an area where I cannot talk, y'all, because I'm a mess up. Okay, so now that I got my top eyeliner on, I do really like to add the same color that's on my lids under my eye, just to give it a little something. This is not mandatory. I'm using a brush similar to this. I feel like works well, and I just go under. Now, some people feel like they need to be super neat here. I don't. Like, again, I love makeup, but like, bruh, if this ain't perfect, I'm cool with it. I am cool with it, and I just go under. Again, you can use that same type of tapping motion to pick up more product and to deliver more product. But you can see how I have like all this fallout here. We're gonna clean that up and it just doesn't bother me. And I like to do this before I do my waterline with my black liner. Cause sometimes to me, it just can get a little smudgy, especially if you're just trying to move to the next step and you ain't trying to do a whole bunch of rushing. But y'all, this is what I like to do. It just gives it a little, I don't know, it like brings you in. It's like a sultry like effect, especially when you're doing like a smoky eye. Honey, it does something. I take that bigger flat brush and then I just sweep the excess off. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Yes! Now I will take that eyeliner and go into my waterline. Be a little gentle, especially depending what type of foundation you're using. If you're using different than me, you don't want to leave like in dark, what's it called, demarcation marks. So we're just going in the waterline. Some people are really, really good at this without even having to pull the lid down. But I think it depends on the type of eyes you have, how dark you want it, and how comfortable you are Sometimes I do like to bleed it over the waterline a little bit. And go ahead, fan the eye, girl. If it starts to get watery, just go ahead and let it chill out. And then I move on to the other eye. Some people ask me like how I got so comfortable, I think, with eyeliner, but I started wearing eyeliner in high school. I cheered, so you know, makeup is a part of like your spirit or whatever. Considered part of like cheer spirit. And I wear contacts, so I'm just not afraid of poking myself in the eye, touching myself in the eye. I've poked myself so many times. So now we're getting ready to contour. And my friend that's the makeup artist, Marissa, she put me on to Danessa Maverick. And this is her deep powder bronzer. I'm obsessed. Like, she put me on a Danessa and I'm happy. Like, look how much product I've used. So again, y'all, I am a little bit more heavy-handed with contouring because most of the time I am going out in the evening. And this is really not the type of brush that you really should be using for this. This is just the type of brush that I use for it. It clearly is bent into the shape of how I do my contour. If you are new at this, I definitely tell you go in lighter because you can always add. But I go in pretty heavy. I do. Again, with the perimeter, you don't have to do this, especially if you have a style that's covering that forehead. And I do hit, okay, my jawline. Snatch this up, okay? Snatch me up. Just go ahead and snatch me together, okay? Because the jaws be jawing over here. And then of course I'm going back in with more because like I told y'all, I am heavy-handed, which you don't got to do, baby. You ain't gotta do it. Again, going back in with the same brush I use for the foundation. And we just gonna buff around. But like, it just blends so freaking good. Love it so much. So much. Now you could also just do a bronzer. Some people just prefer to do bronzer because it looks a lot more natural, but I feel like if you're going for that, I'm going to a formal dinner, I'm going on a date and I want to look fine and super sculpted, then you can use this product. You can also do it in a different shade, but a lot of people like to use bronzer and contour interchangeably. This is where we had added that concealer to highlight, but you see that like definition there? I love it so much. Also, we need to do this nose, honey. I apologize if I'm talking a little fast, y'all. I have like limited storage on my phone. To be real with you, so I'm like, let me get this together, okay? Let me get this together. So that's about what I do, y'all. To contour. So now we're about to get this nose. For this, I use a brush that's even flatter because I feel like it's just, okay, focus now. I feel like it's just easier to get where you need to get. And I go ahead and just hit this part of the nose. You can do this a lot lighter. You can do this a lot heavier. I feel like it's easier to blend when you do it a little lighter and just go in. And I push it into that brow canal. Jackie taught me that, girl. Now you can also make this a lot more narrow if you want to. But y'all, I really don't care if my nose is super narrow or not. Like I just like the definition. I like that like faint little line, but I don't care about my nose being super narrow, super small. That's not a personal insecurity of mine, but if it is for you, you can definitely bring it in closer. But I'm okay with my nose. I really am. You can do this with a big foundation brush like I'm using because lazy over here, y'all. Or you could go in with a smaller brush. You could even use the brush I, was using on my eyelids and to blend my under eye. But yeah, that's all I do for my nose. Subtle. Not on to make it look like I got a nose job or anything like that. At this point, this is also where I'll go back in and just make my brows a little bit more pronounced. Now that they're carved out, I just feel like it gives it a little bit more of a something. And again, I have to stop talking, but you see how they just made it like pop out a little bit more? If that's not your thing, that ain't your thing, babes. I wish I was God's favorite and I had nice, luscious, thick brows. But I don't. It's not my truth. And there we go. So now it is time to add some color back into this face. And this is really old, y'all. Honest to God, I probably should throw this away. But this is the e.l.f. blush palette. I don't even know the name of it because the bag just literally just says blush palette. She's been through some things, and it's time, okay? It's definitely time to get a new one. So I usually do a mix of this like pinky color down here and this red. Sometimes I'll do the lighter pink. Today I'm just gonna do these two clearly because I love them so much. And then we're going in on the cheeks, baby. So I will say this product, probably because it's old too, I have to really pack it in there like that to see the color. And sometimes you might have to, if you're a really blush girly, you might have to go back in even after you put in your setting spray to just bring it back to life. But tapping motion does give you more pigment. Also, y'all, the placement, I just go in, okay? I know everybody does it a little differently for their face, and I don't really be caring, but I do like it on the apples. Some people like it in different locations on their faces. Just play around with it till you like it, y'all. I know there's like makeup rules and guidelines and this and that, but have fun with it and make it your own. We don't all gotta look the same, you know? I'm gonna pack it in a little bit more on this side. Whew, we went way heavy-handed, and that's okay. And now, but the step that I love, y'all, is the highlighter. And again, we're going in with another Danessa Maybelline product. This is, Lord, can I read it? The Light Volume 2 Highlighter Palette. Are you ready to see this beautifulness? I keep all of these, y'all, because I just feel like it helps, especially when you're traveling. Look at this. Look at this beautiful work of art. Obsessed. So I'm going to use this brush, which again, you don't necessarily need to use. This is just what I use, okay? And I'm going in with my favorite, which is this one. And sometimes I do the pink, but I'm feeling the bronze today. And we just need a little bit. Sometimes I do too much, and guess what? You can always take that big that big foundation brush and wipe a little bit off. It's fine. It is fine. But because I'm recording today and going out, I do it a little bit heavier just so it shows on the camera and such. But that's about it, babes, for that. We are just a glowy, shiny mess. But again, y'all, highlighter, I feel like in blush is where you get to have fun. Some people don't even do their nose or their cupid's bow anymore. It's just, get it how you live, baby. So now I do take a smaller brush, like so, and I do my inner corner. I still love having highlight in the inner corner, but it's also because I really love my eyes. I love the shape of my eyes. I love how big they are. I just, I love my eyes. So I do go in and hit the inner corner. You can make this as messy as you want, as tight as you want. And I do hit the under eyebrow just a little bit. Some people this makes them cringe, but again, it's your face. Do what make you happy, okay? And now, my beloveds, we are at the time where we are getting ready to set, okay? I'm using the NYX matte finishing spray because we are matte. Oh, hold on. I use the same foundation even in the winter, but in the winter I use the dewy version. So if you are not an oily skin person and you're like dry, normal combination skin, you can use the dewy to give you that effect. But again, it's summer, so I'm gonna come on in here with this. Yes, I do use a lot. And while this begins to dry and set down, y'all, this is usually where I begin to clean up a little bit, because the final step that I do is lashes. So while this sets, I'm gonna clean up. So y'all, I love how this spray like sets it together, melts it together. But y'all, I forgot to carve out underneath my contour. And I ain't gonna do that today. So if you want to come back and decide y'all want another makeup tutorial, let me know and I will actually do that. But listen, I missed a step and it's over. So now I'm trying to decide which lashes I want to do, y'all. I love the IENVY lashes. Whoa. I clearly have worn these. These are like my favorite everyday versions. But I'm like, we're going out tonight, so I kind of want to be a little extra and pop out. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, do we feel like doing all that? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, make up my mind real fast. Come on. Okay, I decided to do my everyday lashes, y'all, just so you can kind of see what those look like. And yes, that is product buildup because I've worn these before. Mind your business. And these are not my favorite tweezers at all, y'all. I actually really hate these. I don't feel like they like grip very well. And I actually gave one of my favorite pair, my favorite gold pair, to my friend. I left them in her room when I was doing her lashes in Mexico earlier this year. And then my other ones I accidentally gave to my friend when we were in Fort Lauderdale for her birthday. So I just haven't re-upped on my tweezers because I got expensive ones too, y'all. Like it's a difference. So I like to grab them and then apply the product to the band. I have applied it to my eyes before. If you're a beginner, I don't recommend you do that, but it does make it a bit easier. Also, some people like to do their mascara before putting on their lashes, but while I wait for them to dry, oh, I didn't show y'all the glue. It's Duo. I will have everything I can find, y'all, linked in this video down at the bottom. But it's brush-on adhesive with vitamins, as it says, apparently. But this particular one over that other tube, I feel like dries a lot faster. And even with us talking, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on because if I try to do mascara to my bottom lid, it's gonna be dry. So some people tell you to like look down. I personally just kind of look at it. When you see this happening, that means it's either too dry or it's not dry enough. And just in us talking, y'all, it's too dry. That's how fast this glue dries, y'all. It dries down really, really fast. And also, y'all, some people are asking, like, Patty, I don't know how you be doing these lashes. Y'all, sometimes they go on super easy for me, and sometimes I struggle bust it. Just keep practicing. I like the white glue because I like that you can see it become, like, translucent when I feel like it's starting to get tacky. Some people just like the black one, so it's your preference. And then some people use hair glue. It is all your personal preference. I am going to try to quickly go in with my mascara to my bottom lid. While we wait for that to dry a little bit. Always recommend going in lighter than going in heavier. We can always build upon mascara. And sometimes I'm a little messy with it because I kind of don't mind that look. Some people make some cringe. I like it. It makes me feel like a little punk rock star. So let's try this lash again. Yeah, now we're getting tacky. Also, if you have shorter nails, you could probably do this with your fingers, but for me, in these long claws, sometimes I have to fight it a little bit. But be patient with yourselves, y'all. Be patient. No, it's okay to mess up. I mean, I've been doing lashes for a long time. Y'all just found me, right? Something that my makeup artist friend taught me is to, once it's on and it's sat for like a second or two, go ahead and push them up. Look at that. I love these lashes. They look like extensions to me. I'm a little OCD, so I still go back in and make sure they're on. And also, you see that? Yes, we're stuck. Also, you don't have to use as much glue as I use. I had my lashes come off before, and since then I OD on the glue to the point that I do use a pretty moist concealer to take my lashes off. Some people will use oils, but like, you don't need to use this much. But again, this is just a personal preference. When they're on there, I want them to be on there, okay? I used this glue on my friend, like the one where I lost my other tweezers when we went on vacation for her bachelorette to Mexico, y'all. This girl kept the lashes on the entire trip. Like, this is how tight this glue will last. Like, you could really keep them on for a few days if you wanted to. You really, really could. So you don't need to use as much as I'm using. The other lash is on, and now lastly we doing the lips. So y'all know I like to use my products for multiple things, so I use my same eyebrow pencil for my lips, y'all. It's just the perfect brown to me, and I overline my lips. I know I already was blessed with full lips, but why not? I love my Cupid's bow, so I really go into define that. I don't know how people talk and do their lips. So that is what I do to line my lips. So next, my favorite lipstick of all time is by Mami, and this is the Double Espresso. I love this color, y'all. Year round, I know it pulls a lot more, it definitely pulls a lot more winter, but I love it. Clearly, like, it's gone. Look at that color. Look at that color. Like, I love this so much. I probably just should have did a nude for all these videos I'm about to shoot, but who cares? You can also top this off with a gloss, y'all. And this is it. So thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know how you felt about the video, y'all. You want me to do some more? Would you just like me to chit chat while doing it? But I definitely think we're going to use natural light next time, because this light, sis, it's giving. So So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in another one. Bye.